All right, y'all, we're on to putting the timbers on the greenhouse now. So where we're at here is we're gonna start with our footboard. We wanna start with our footboard because this is gonna determine how the timbers are gonna go with the lay of the land, or go, if you're building level or against the land, what we wanna do with the timber here. So we've actually kind of got lucky. I know we've talked about it this whole installation video, how we've been building against a slope. And we kind of slope to a corner away. We're not even on an even slope here. But as we've laid our first timber down to check, we actually have a really nice fall with the land, and we think we're gonna be able to run this out to the end without having to do any shimming up or digging down. What we wanna end up with is it doesn't have to be level, but it has to fall on the same grade the whole way down. We've gotten lucky again, like I said, and our gravel, we're making contact everywhere. We've got a steady slope to our angle. So we're gonna go ahead and mount this first timber right where we are. But we'll cover a thing or two here. If you've decided to build against the grade and you wanted to level your greenhouse out, maybe let the slope go down a little bit. If you'd like an example of that, you can see our 16-foot Dakota install, where we actually built a 24-foot house against a 24-inch grade. And you can see some of the customization we had to do to build the house level against the hill and build up some timbers underneath and shim it up. On this particular kit, we're not gonna go against that. We've gone with the lay of the land the entire way. But just in this example, is if we were gonna build this level, we would have to raise this board, and here we are 3/4 of the way through the house, and we're looking at a 6 to 8 inch drop here to the gravel, just to level that board out some. We would then carry that out, and we would either have to backfill into here, or we would have to do what we did in the other installation and put some boards under to shim it up. So with the way we've gotten the fall to go down through here, it looks like we've kind of test fit everything, and we're gonna play this board out to the end, and we don't think we're gonna end up with any large gaps under the house, and we don't want our board to be rolling up and down like a roller coaster. So we're gonna keep an even line. The importance of keeping that even line all the way down through there, like I said, it doesn't have to be level, I just mean an even fall, an even grade, because that's what's gonna determine where our top board is gonna go. With our end wall kits on here, whether you decide to do it at a 3.5 foot gap, if you wanna get a little bit crazy with it and go all the way up to the tension bands here and do almost a 4 foot gap. We do suggest 3 to 3.5 feet, but it's your greenhouse. So what we wanna do now is ensure that we have an even grade all the way down. That way, as we go to hang our board, we can take our measuring tape and measure our 3.5 feet from the top of the board on the bottom to the bottom of the board on the top. That's gonna give us an even gap so that when we roll our sides up, even if the roll-up side is on the same grade as the rest of the boards, it's gonna roll up all at the same time, as opposed to having one board leveled out across here and one board on a slope. Your roll-up side would sit cockeyed, and when you went to roll it up, you'd never get it all the way up to the top on one end. So we're gonna go through the installation process here, and we'll cover a couple more things as we get through this. One of the first things we're gonna talk about is making sure the boards meet in the center of the ground stake. That's for the 2-hole strap hardware. So you're gonna see us right away make a trim here, then we're gonna have to cut a board to fit in this 8-foot gap here, and before too long, we'll have the bottom boards all the way around the house, and then we'll hang our top boards. All right, guys, so in suspending these timbers, on the ground, we're gonna let them set. We're gonna hang them in the air, so we'll say suspending them there. We do wanna go over the hardware here. So on this Dakota house, we're gonna have 3 different pieces of hardware to hang this board. Since we're starting on the bottom one, I wanna focus on that hardware right now. We'll talk about what's a little bit different on the top board in just a moment. On your greenhouse kit, we have done a redesign on this bracket last year. And so now we have the ground stake corner bracket. Originally, what we did was a 2-hole strap, and it was up to the customer to flatten one of those ears out, as you see here. We've redesigned this, and we actually manufacture this in the shop now so that it fits on that ground stake. We're gonna catch the end of your board, the 2-inch of your 2x6 with those 2 holes, and then we have a hole here on this L bracket part that's gonna catch the back side of the board. You have an additional 2 holes that you're gonna use to secure it to the ground stake there in the corner itself. Now, for every ground stake between the corners, we're gonna use the 2-hole strap still. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna fit that onto the ground stake. Use 2 wood screws to secure the ears to the back face of the board. And just like when we hung the purlin, we wanna take a Tek screw and go right through the middle of that into the ground stake itself. So not only will the wood screws snug the board up to the ground stake tubing itself, once you put that Tek screw in, like everything else that we've talked about to this point, that's what's gonna secure the board in place. Keep the vibrations down and keep any movement or shifting out of that board.